I hope you're ready to rage, because today we're starting the series between Berserk and Scarbrand, so definitely in for a good time. These are two very veteran players. If you are new here, you're wondering what's going on, this is for the Faction Master Tournament here for Total War Warhammer 3 multiplayer. Yeah, basically in this tournament, once you've used a faction, you cannot use them again throughout the tournament. This is in the second round. Both these players have already played one series, using up a handful of factions. But without much further ado, let's get to the builds here for Berserk. Coming in with the Demons of Chaos, he's got Demon Prince of Tzeentch leading the way, Soul Grinder with a couple of Blood Reaper heroes on foot, some Screamers and Fleshhounds and Furies out there in the distance. And then we've got a bunch of Blues as infantry here. Looks like some Plague Toads mixed in there as well. As for the Ogres, coming in hot, Scarbrand has got some Iron Guts, Noblars, and yeah, Pigback Riders. Yetis here, including the Regiment of Renown Amble Peaks. We've got some Slingers, Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. So not too many actual Ogre units, a lot of Noblars, but we do have a few key elites here. Let's watch as things play out. Oh, of course, up front, who could forget, there is a Thunder Tusk currently coming in and bullying the Tzeentch Soul Grinder, using its Frostbite to keep it nailed down. Wow, that guy just throwing his javelin directly down, basically spearing his own dude in the head. Manages to get some damage there. And yeah, the two Blood Reapers going to get revealed here in the forest, begin duking it out with some Iron Guts. Iron Guts do have a modest bonus versus infantry. Whoop, this I double jump over there. But, yeah, and a surround around the Blood Reapers. They will do a pretty good job. We see pretty quickly the two Blood Reapers getting isolated and starting to take some damage, about a quarter HP off of both of them. But the Blues and Pinks and the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch getting a firing opportunity, ready to shoot in and burminate the Iron Guts. Yeah, two Blood Reapers. So far, so good. But Demon Prince of Tzeentch getting hit by the Slingers. We've got some backline disruption attempting here, perhaps. The Screamers do have anti-large, but they are quite squishy. Have to be a little bit careful about how you manage them. Yetis do have magic attacks. Yes, they will be able to bypass physical resistance of those demonic units. Got to be a little bit careful about fighting them directly, but Blues are going to come forward, start to break up the Noblar advance a little bit here, get some damage on the Iron Guts, spring the Blood Reapers loose. And it looks like the Thunder Tusk will charge over to that engagement. Yeah, look at the beautiful blanket of blue fire just raining down on the Noblar's heads. Blues don't have too much ammo, but it is quite spectacular when they do open up. Here we've got a unit moving into melee. Yeah, the Fleshhounds also getting caught up by that big old Thunder Tusk. Definitely a problem right now. Not a lot of anti-large for the demons in this build, but see the Demon Prince starting to cycle charge a little bit in the back line, shut down some of those Slingers. I'm surprised how much damage he's taken, actually, from the Slingers and so forth. But yeah, the Noblars, nice little side charge from the Pigback Riders. The Iron Guts straight to the face of these Blues. And they should go down relatively quickly, despite their high number of unimodels and relatively high HP. Got the Plague Toads engaging as well. So far, things seem to be slowly grinding in the Ogre's favor, but Demons are definitely not out of this yet, while the Demon Prince survives. And we see a few units starting to get worn away. The Amble Peak Greybacks, the Regiment of Renown Yetis, getting a nice Troll Guts, sustain them through this engagement. Screamers jumping down, trying to use their anti-large to good effect, but ultimately them and the Furies do fall apart quite quickly. Don't have a lot of staying power. And again, I don't know exactly how the matchup picks were done, but this is a pretty tough one, I think, for Demons of Chaos. Like, they definitely have some tools, but just a general lack of anti-large for demonic units means that yeah, you don't have a lot of great, like obvious picks against the Ogres. But nonetheless, we're going to get a perhaps final charge. I don't know. Maybe the forces of chaos can rally here, push back Ogres. Does look like this charge. I get some supporting, yeah, the Screamers, Regiment Renown, the Shrieking Sky Rays. Toads also hanging in admirably, and the Demons are starting to collect a little bit of a death ball here. Thunder Tusk is still causing some pretty serious issues, but with the support routed away, the Amble Peak Greybacks should get taken down here. Demon Prince getting that Horn of Corn to juice up his melee attack, and he's got decent stats all around. This one does not have armor-piercing damage, actually, in melee. Primarily not armor-piercing, with only 150 AP and 300 base weapon damage. So, definitely not going to be cutting through the 90 armor of those Iron Guts, base 100, but they are getting pretty tired. Exhaustion starting to be a factor a little bit for both sides. Yeah, you can see the Thunder Tusk here already exhausted, but already got a massive amount of damage value, 200 kills, like 2,000 damage value plus. Quite impressive stuff. The Demon Prince with his rays, will he be able to hold? Doesn't look good for him here. We're going to see a Plague of Rust. Interesting. Was he actually? Yeah. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, the Demon Prince does get some value, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not nearly enough to carry here. And yeah, I mean, the Screamers, they're one of the few anti-large units you do actually have access to. But the Soul Grinder ended up being a pretty big liability. Definitely was not able to use up its ammunition effectively. That being said, again, I don't know. We can look here and do some theory crafting after the fact, but for the Demons, yeah, I mean, single entity-wise, it's going to be tough to compete against the Thunder Tusk for most factions, to be honest. It's tough to compete. Thunder Tusk is one of the best single entities in the game currently. And I believe it was actually limited to one for this tournament, so it could only take the one. But Scarbrand has now used the Ogres, which are going to be quite a strong faction. Perhaps he will come to regret this later. But yeah, look at these Slingers, man. They must have been the ones lighting up the Demon Prince. 764 damage value, 3,000 damage dealt. Pretty impressive stuff on only 3,000 damage value. To get that much, that much damage, that's quite a bit of value to get for such a low amount of damage, relatively speaking. Yeah, Iron Guts were both fairly well limited, but just in general, a horde of Noblars and the key kind of power units here, not what the Demons could handle. So it is definitely a little bit of a tricky matchup in that way we've discussed. But if we go to the Demons of Chaos roster, so yeah, like infantry-wise, you don't have any like Spear Halberd infantry, obviously. Cavalry, you know, you do have some quite expensive cavalry, but none of them are, again, anti-large. Really, like, you've got your Screamers. I think maybe the Slaanesh Soul Grinder has anti-large, but it's not a very good unit, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend taking it. It's even, it's not, I guess it's not a missile monster, technically. Yeah. Yeah, technically it does have anti-large in melee, but I say only 8,000 HP, relatively speaking, to especially something like the Thunder Tusk, which has like 10,000. That's got a HP nerf at some point, but still, over 10,000 HP, 100 armor. You know, if we do some more stat comparison here, yeah, I mean, the Soul Grinder technically has better attack and defense, a little bit better weapon strength, but then you have to factor in that this is also getting the benefit of the missile damage. And I don't know exactly how much missile damage the dudes on the back do with their javelins, but regardless, it's going to be a little bit more. Also has significantly more mass. Yeah, 7,500 mass versus only 4,000 for the Soul Grinder. So just can path through things, not really care too much about, you know, getting bogged down, and can just kind of dictate its engagements. The Soul Grinder can, to a degree, does have Strider, at least this Slaanesh one does, and Devastating Flanker. So maybe with like a multi-single entity situation, you could perhaps use like this guy plus a couple of these little Blood Reapers as bait, more or less, and then maybe try and go a 3 or 4v1 even. Do any of the Lords have anti-large? Yeah, I guess some of the Corn Lords do as well. Red Olgor. You've also got the Exalted Keeper of Secrets, which has anti-large, but it's not super sturdy combatant. Yeah, it's interesting how low HP some of these Demon Princes have, especially for how expensive they are. But yeah, Exalted Bloodthirster, or red Ogre maybe are options here, but they, again, super expensive. 2,200 base price for not even 9,000 HP is pretty tough, to be honest. But it is what it is. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Yeah, I guess he does come with Gore Feast a little bit, so at least this guy gets the benefit of some passive regeneration, and also gets Hellblade for free, so his weapon strength will go up even more. I don't know, maybe something like this. You got a couple of big anti-large single entities, a couple of Blood Reapers, and then, yeah, come in here and tank up on some blues, and get some more Screamers as well. I don't know if this would work, but it's certainly something you could try against the Ogre Kingdoms, but still it seems like a pretty tough matchup to me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.